Your Excellency, the Interministerial Committee on Nigeria's 64th Independence Anniversary, chaired by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Acme, is pleased to welcome you all to this World Press Conference, organized to unveil the programs lined up to commemorate the momentous occasion of the 64th anniversary of our great nation, Nigeria. This is a time of reflection, celebration, and renewed hope as we honor the journey of Nigeria, a nation that has demonstrated resilience, strength, capacity, and unyielding spirit in the face of numerous and daunting challenges. Since gaining independence in 1960, Nigeria has evolved from a nation of hope and potential into a leading force on the African continent and a respected voice in the global community. We have faced numerous trials, from political upheavals to economic challenges, but each time we have risen stronger through our shared unwavering vision of a united and prosperous country. Our democracy, now unbroken for nearly a quarter of a century, stands as a testament to the will of the Nigerian people to attain and sustain freedom and liberty for prosperity. Despite some challenges, we have weathered the storm and remain committed to democratic values and showcasing the maturity of our political system. Under the visionary leadership of President Mbola Amejulu, we have initiated transformative policies and reforms aimed at correcting the mistakes of the past and reposition Nigeria as an economic superpower in the near future. Despite global economic headwinds and the transitional pains accompanying some of the reforms, the President has remained focused in his efforts towards reviving our economy and returning the country to the path of prosperity and sustained growth. Undoubtedly, one of the significant setbacks to rural socio-economic development in Nigeria has been the absence of direct fiscal control by elected local government administration. In a landmark move, President Tinubu has taken a decisive step toward implementing local government autonomy by seeking a verdict from the Supreme Court. This action demonstrates his administration's commitment to a deep-rooted restructuring of the country, enhancing governance and development at the grassroots level, and also promoting effectiveness and accountability at local government level. In addition, a lot of work is ongoing towards ensuring macroeconomic stability, stabilizing the foreign exchange regime, reforming the tax system to make it more efficient and less burdensome on Nigerians, repositioning our oil and gas sector to attract new investment, and prioritizing the diversification and expansion of government revenues. Following the removal of the petroleum subsidy, President Tinubu is gradually guiding Nigeria into an unprecedented energy transition phase, launching a presidential initiative to move the country from fossil fuels to compressed natural gas (CNG) as a fuel for vehicles and machinery. The ongoing rollout of the CNG and associated infrastructure is reducing transportation costs for Nigerians up to 60%, creating jobs and attracting tens of millions of dollars in local and foreign investment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the young people of Nigeria now have a clearer path to sustainable tertiary education through the Student Loan Access to Higher Education Act of 2024, which has established the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, among others. Complementing this, is the new Consumer Credit Corporation, established to guarantee access to low-cost and flexible consumer credit. In multiple ways, President Mbola Amejulu is focused on putting more money in the pockets of the Nigerian people and creating avenues for sustainable prosperity. Let me now use this opportunity to thank Nigerians for your patience and resilience in this very difficult period in the evolution of our economy. The journey has been tough, but surely there is light at the end of the tunnel. Our sacrifices will not be in vain. Amid these challenges, we should never underplay the emerging shoots of progress, whether it is the growing success of our military against bandits and criminals, or the drop in inflation for a second consecutive month, or the mounting testimonials from delighted beneficiaries of business grants, student loans, CNG, vehicle conversion, among others. Let me also put on record the effort that the administration is also doing to ensure that the disaster we have faced recently as a result of the flooding in some parts of the country, especially in Borno State, is being tackled head-on. Let us continue to remind ourselves that we share the collective task of striving for the peace, unity, stability of this great country of ours. Together, we will build a nation that will be the pride of every black man on the planet. And as the President always says, we will hand on to our children a banner that is unstained. With the recent ratification of the National Values Charter by the Federal Executive Council, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation will now commence the implementation of the Charter in line with the President's commitment to fostering moral, ethical, and cultural reawakening. The Charter will foster the conviction that the things that unite us, our sense of nationhood, our obligations to our country, will always be stronger and deeper than what may wish to divide us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency, Senator George Acme, to make a presentation on the 64th Independence Anniversary celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening and welcome to this great event.
Thank you very much. At this point, please invite the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Acme, CON. While we await the arrival of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, permit me to recognize the representative of the Inspector General of Police, AIG Bennett Iwe.
Now from my left. Thank you. Members of the Federal Executive Council, my colleagues, Special Advisors to the President, here present, Comrade Hadiza, beloved man, Policy and Coordination, Bio Nanuga, Information and Communications and Strategy, top military and police officers here present, permanent secretaries, directors, heads of government agencies here present, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, to this press conference organized to unveil activities lined up to commemorate the 64th independence anniversary of Nigeria, our great and dear nation. The 64th independence anniversary calls for a combination of critical actions on our part as citizens and collectively as a nation. These actions include a reflection on our past, recognition of our accomplishments on the journey so far, and a determination to raise the banner of hope, progress, peace, unity, and development. Let me begin this press conference by saluting the selflessness, sacrifices, and immeasurable contributions of our founding fathers who fought for the attainment of this nation's independence in 1960. I was in primary one when we got independence. So I knew this national anthem when I was in primary school, when many of you hadn't been born. But the young shall grow. Similarly, I acknowledge the invaluable contributions of all past leaders of this country for laying the foundations on which this administration is building. Their vision and resilience helped Nigeria to navigate some of her most difficult phases, including the Civil War, and earned us respect among the Committee of Nations. As a nation, therefore, we must recognize with pride our journey to a stable and broken democratic sovereignty, which has spanned 25 years since 1999. I was governor in 1999, and we always pride ourselves as that group of 1999 that anchored the return of the country to presidential democracy. And of course, the late Yaradua was one of us, President Yaradua. Democracy to every Nigerian citizen. This government of President Mbola Amejulu, His Excellency, GCFR, is very much aware of and deeply sympathizes with all Nigerians over the economic conditions we are passing through. These have been occasioned by unavoidable policy choices, including the removal of fuel subsidy that his administration has had to make. Remember what I told you here. Professor O'Rahman, the president of Afrexim Bank, one of the brightest in development economics in the world, told me that was the best decision the president took in the oil industry. Notwithstanding the daunting challenges, ceaseless efforts are being made, caution the immediate impact and to create new opportunities on the short, medium, long-term basis through diligent implementation of the renewed hope agenda. These policies and programs are being implemented for long-term solutions to these problems. They assure us all that in no distant time, under the leadership of President Mbola Amejulu, the trajectory of our socio-economic development will soar higher, positive territory. In alignment with the mode of nature, therefore, I wish to inform you that the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Excellency Mbola Amejulu has approved that the 64th Independence celebration should be low-key. It is in this context that the program of events has been designed to remind us about our strength when we stay united, progress despite the challenges, the beauty of our diversity, the quantum leap this administration has taken within the short period in office, and a beacon of a brighter future for all through the renewed hope agenda. I said the shortest period because you gave us a mandate, 4 years. We have just done 1 year, so we still have a long way to go. I believe we have started very well. Before I unveil the approved program of activities, I wish to mention a few of the accomplishments of this administration that impacts on our citizens, their daily lives. Ministers are here, they will add flesh to the skeleton. Recently, President Mbola Amejulu said, followed through with his promises on easing transportation difficulties of our citizens with the establishment of the Presidential CNG initiative and the launch of the first phase of buses powered by hybrid compressed natural gas. This was done at a villa. Beautiful buses for beautiful people. And it's just the beginning. This is work in progress because the presidential initiative is designed to expand across all geopolitical zones of the country and eventually to every state. The government has also commissioned the first retrofitted CNG train head for the Abuja-Kaduna track. This is intended to cut the cost of travel by up to 50% when fully operational. In order to encourage conversion to CNG power land transportation, government has also commenced the distribution of CNG conversion kits at no cost to Nigerians. We have a young man here who is in that sector and is part of the team carefully assembled to give effect to this presidential initiative. Share with us at the appropriate time. We will make a few comments. Benefits of CNG transport system to Nigerians is huge reduction in cost of transportation. The President has also given priority to the growth of the economy through the SMEs. By so doing, he has refocused on strengthening the backbone of the economy by empowering Nigerians to start or grow their businesses. The President has similarly repositioned the National Social Investment Program to effectively address the challenges facing the poor, the vulnerable, and the served and the elderly. Nigerian workers have also benefited from a newly improved national minimum wage. Takes effect from July. Minimum wage, as you know, is 70,000 from 30,000. A huge leap. This is coming on the heels of the wage award paid to mitigate the plight of the workers. In the area of human capital development, the Nigerian Students Loan Fund has disbursed the sum of 2.5 billion. Now it's ongoing. The minister is here, education. Over 22,000 beneficiaries across high institutions in the country. It's a welcome release for parents and an opportunity to access education by indigenous students in particular. Insecurity in different parts of the country has been a recurring challenge for successive governments since 1999. This administration has succeeded in elevating the human institutional capacity of the armed services and other security agencies to tackle these challenges of insurgency, banditry, and other criminal activities, including kidnapping. This is already yielding results, as insurgents and bandits are getting neutralized large numbers, while several others are surrendering to the authorities for de-radicalization. The rainy season has similarly come and posed its own challenges. As a result of consequence of climate change and other environmental factors, the country has experienced serious flooding in several states, resulting in fatalities, destruction of infrastructure, personal belongings, shelter, livelihoods, and so on. The humanitarian response of the federal government has been swift and most effective. The government has drawn lessons from the current situation and stepped up planning and prevention strategies. One of the major issues and challenges facing Nigerians is rising food prices, and to boost food security, availability, and ensure affordability of food. The government has removed tariffs on the importation of certain categories of food. In addition, government has distributed fertilizers, farm inputs, and other critical items to boost food production. These are some of the policies that are going to be taken up by the Honorable Minister or his representative. On a long-term perspective, infrastructural development remains one of the pillars of the Tinubu administration. Since his assumption of office, the government has shown its resolve in completing ongoing projects and initiating new ones in key sectors. Transportation infrastructure, particularly roadway and airport projects, have been prioritized to enhance connectivity, facilitate trade, and improve the overall quality of life for Nigerians. Having availed of some of these accomplishments, where it is endless, and on which to unveil the schedule for the 64th Independence Anniversary celebration as follows. First event is what we're doing today, World Press Conference. 2 special Jummah prayers takes place on Friday, the 27th of September. Interdenominational church service. And this one is going to take place, special Jummah prayers at the National Mosque here in Abuja. Interdenominational church service, 29th September, that's on Sunday, at the National Christian Center, Abuja. Presidential broadcast will be the 1st of October, 6/4 Independence Anniversary Parade, Tuesday 2, 1st October, the presidential dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, I call on you as the members of the fourth estates of the ring to support this administration by consolidating our partnership in order to reposition our country and bring hope and fulfillment to all and some. I remember what one journalist said in the past, that no matter the imperfections of democratic government, journalists go to bed without minding about midnight knocks. Nobody is going to knock at your door, in spite of what you write against government. Also, I'm counting on your unalloyed support to publicize activities lined up to mark this year's independence anniversary, and please publicize the very, very positive things that this administration is doing, most of them in the most unprecedented manner. Let us therefore stand united, resilient, and hopeful. I wish all Nigerians a happy 64th independence and anniversary in advance. We have here the robust team of ministers, special advisors, who will take your questions, our matters policy, and they are equal to the task. I thank you for your attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I believe we will make the call speak louder for the Secretary of State. Thank you. Very distinguished members of the media, we'll go to the segment of the press conference where we'll ask questions. The Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation will tell us the format in which we take this segment.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, for that insight. Now, we are at the question and answer session, and this is how we want to proceed. We are seeing an array of ministers here at the high table and those also in the front row. We will give room for about 5 questions. Members of the media can ask any of the ministers here questions on any area that they wish clarification or explanations for. Then the minister will use the opportunity to make these clarifications and further expansion where necessary. If the minister so desires, he can also bring in any office official from his ministry or any head of agency to make further clarifications. But before we proceed, I have a very important announcement to make, and that is concerning our national anthem. You know that the current national anthem has 3 stanzas. At the last Federal Executive Council, the decision has already been taken, as it is with tradition, that only the first stanza of the national anthem will be recited at events such as this one. It is only when you have events where the president is around or where you have national events like the independence anniversary that you take the entire 3 stanzas. But going forward, it is the first stanza of the 3 stanzas of the national anthem that will be recited at events such as this one. The second one is that the 3rd stanza of the national anthem is our national prayer. Our national prayer is being replaced by the 3rd stanza of the current national anthem. Recall that the old national anthem has 2 stanzas. The second stanza used to be the national prayer. Now it is the 3rd stanza of the new national anthem that will serve as our national prayer. But the national pledge remains as it is. I think it's important that we make these clarifications out there. Of course, the National Education Agency that is serving with the responsibility that will continue to make further advocacy and enlightenment on this matter. Thank you very much. So let me come back to tell you that there will be opportunity for about 5 questions. You can ask any of the ministers here any question. They will answer you and use the opportunity to make further clarification. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. With that said, we know the drill. State your name, state your media outlet, and your question. 5 questions will be taken. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thank you very much. Please help me pass the microphone. Please straight to the question, please. Thank you.
Excellency, my name is Mbola Amejulu. I publish Nigerian spokesman magazine. I have 2 questions. One for you, and the other one for the Minister of Water Resources. Yes, sir. Before your speech, the Minister of Information and National Orientation read this speech, and I counted the phrase "doubting challenges" in his speech. It came out 3 times. Somehow that same phrase came out in your own speech, "doubting challenges." And then going to your speech, the mood actually reflects what Nigerians are going through. I want to report to you that before the beginning of this assignment, a few senior colleagues in the media, we had a chat and a chat where we also reflected on the past of this nation, the present of this nation. But we concluded that much as things may be terrible, we cannot give up on our nation. We will not give up on our nation. I want to answer these daunting challenges. Looking at the relationship between the federal government and the state. Our governance, sir. I don't know what solution we have to our government that are living large in spite of the huge allocation that is coming to them. The bulk of Nigerians, 2 million Nigerians, live in this state. And we believe that on this side of the divide, that this government has demonstrated commitment to bring grassroots governance to where it should be. My question, sir.
Please get to the question.
My question, sir. We have looked at the Supreme Court June 11, 2024 ruling on the local government autonomy, which is one good thing that the federal government has done to take governance to the grassroots. So what will be your legacy in this direction without, sir, causing any kind of friction between the federal government and the state government?
Thank you very much.
I ask this question, sir. that we are in the structure of this nation right now. The president is a former governor, the vice president is a former governor, the senate president is a former governor, and your humble self, sir, yes, you are a former governor. What do we do about our governor? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Number 2, please. I think the punch. Please, let's stick straight to the question. Thank you.
My name is Adelani. In July, the President announced the full cost to caution the high cost of food in Nigeria. He put Rural for full position. But till now, we've not seen anything. Last time we had was that the Minister of Finance was meeting and they are yet to select the agreement important. So we'd like to get an update from the Minister. Secondly, a few weeks ago, the Minister of Education announced a ban on drug admission for 18-year-olds, and this is a worrying issue for Nigerians. We'd like to know what the government is doing, whether they are taking action to prevent those under 18 from university admission. And finally, sir, on the issue of fuel supply in Nigeria, a few weeks ago, the NPC announced an increase in fuel, and yesterday, the presidency said the government not to intervene in the price of fuel being supplied by Dangote. Does it mean that if Dangote chose to sell at $1,000 per litre, the government will not make any intervention, considering the fact that fuel, the cost of fuel is very instrumental, very central to the cost of food and other things in Nigeria?
Thank you. Number 3.
December, because the waiver is in January. Is there any way the government transcend to every local government in Nigeria because we have solid mineral all over the 774 local governments of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Number 5, Mr. Baker.
Good afternoon. My name is Media Ashur from Arise News. In my opinion, I've been watching the progress, the proceedings of this administration since its outset, and from my own perception, it's as if the nation is held hostage by 2 extant policies of the federal government. One is the removal of the fuel subsidy and the flotation of the naira. And when you look at the oil sector, the price of fuel, it was 197 by the time it took over, and now it is hovering within the range of 1,000 naira. I want to believe that you can imagine the effects of this on the masses, and also the introduction of the Dangote refinery coming into stream. What has the federal government done to ensure that we take full advantage of this? Because we have moribund refineries that our leaders are telling us that it's mechanically and technically ready, but up till now, it's yet to take off. So one would imagine that rather than reducing its stake in Dangote refinery, why is the federal government not using that investment in reviving the endless non-performing refineries to support the Dangote refinery to ensure that people benefit? We produce oil in this country, and it's a big paradox that we are not benefiting from the fact that we are producing. Before, we heard from the oil experts that the major reason is the landed cost. So, from Dangote refinery now, there isn't anything like landed cost. So, can you explain to us why Nigerians would continue to bear a huge cost in gaining access to fuel, and why we continue to pay a huge price to the price of PMS? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, that's 5 questions. We can do.
We can give room for additional questions, especially on infrastructure. The Honorable Minister of Works is here. If there is, if there isn't, that's also fine.
All right, sir.
Please, the arrangement for the minimum wage has been for the workers, the public servants, civil servants. What is the arrangement for the people that are not really, in the public sector? Do we have any arrangement for them? And then secondly, even with all the remuneration going on, arrangement has been focused on the public servants. My question would be, what is going on for the people that are not in the public service? And then again, you said something that we can see how you have achieved in this 1 year. I know that you know that Nigerians were not really, we're not really happy for this past 1 year. So what do you think will happen in the next 3 years? Please, we need to repeat, yes.
Thank you very much. And the last. Thank you.
From AIT report. Honorable Minister of Works, can you share with us your plan in reversing the sorry state of our roads? For those of us who travel across this country, traveling from one state to the other these days, the roads are in bad shape. The roads are bad. What efforts
efforts are being made to ensure that the roads are motorable. Thank you very much.
And that will be the end of the questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, Secretary to the Government, you may please speak.
Thank you very much.
My colleagues and members of the press, these are very germane questions, and as I said, there is a team that has been put in place to attend to your questions. And from the way you've spoken, we all know are very patriotic Nigerians who want to know what is happening. We say we should disseminate this to our people, and still you want to know. Maybe there is a gap somewhere, but today that gap is going to be closed. So please pay attention to what we're going to say. These things are measurable. This not that we're inventing things that are not happening or are not happening. They are not what philosophy is. So please, I'll take the one that directed to me, and then I refer the rest to my colleagues here. I believe we just to what we want to do. We talked about solid mineral. Frankly, this government, decided deliberately to create the Ministry of Solid Mineral Development. Because principally, this country is very, very rich in solid minerals. But there hadn't been any policy put in place to ensure meaningful and purposeful exploitation of these minerals for the benefits of Nigerians. It became an all-comers game. At tonight, this one will come and do this, create a hole here, create a hole there, without coordination. Today we have a very coordinated policy, so that before you go into this, you need to have a license, you need to know the kind of tax you are going to pay. You have to know that you have to also interact with the communities where these mineral resources are located. They also become part of the process of exploitation, so that you don't have problems. The people know. And what you're doing, they're also part of it, they're also going to benefit. The minister himself is not here today. He was in China, he's in America, selling this new policy with maximum resolve. And that is why you'll find so many people coming, companies, reputable companies coming to invest in the solid mineral sector. Something that had not happened before. I'll give you an example. Nasarawa State, which is near Abuja here. Lithium harmony plants are being put up there.
big plans. One company has invested about $350 million in exploitation and processing. It's not just a question of exploiting and exporting the raw minerals. You have to add value so that what comes to the government is also significant. That's why you exploit gold in its crude form. You take it over there, make a lot of money, we're paid pittance here. No, that is not so. But I believe on Monday when there's going to be another session, he will be there. Don't forget, this is the largest economy in Africa. And we have also participated in peacekeeping operations in Africa and beyond. We have done this. As requested by the United Nations. We have done these things for humanity. In most cases, we use our resources. We believe we have paid our dues sufficiently strong to enable us to have a permanent seat at the Security Council of the United Nations. Many countries have spoken in our support. I played host to many of the envoys. And we mentioned this, the support. Sometimes we try to undervalue what we have. Nigeria, I believe, is destined to play that role, and our friends, associates, already supporting because they know the leadership we also have today. Nigeria is capable of playing a leading role in that place. And even the request that he said Nigeria and no other African countries. We're not selfish. That's what I want to say as far as this is concerned. Then somebody talk about, I hope Yomi, sorry, not Yomi, Sule. I hope you go home with some message. And this is what we have said and we believe we should be there. Minimum wage, which is also directed at me. Remember that the minimum wage was negotiated by 3 bodies, and that is what we talk of tripartite involvement in the negotiation process for the new minimum wage. Government, and when I talk about government, talking about the 3 governments, federal, state, local. That's 1. Labor, organized labor, NSCTUC. And 3, organized private sector. They were all involved. So it's not something that's just restricted. Public sector. It's something that's expected to reach, particularly to reach out to those who are also left out. It's because of the love of Mr. President for the workers that when it was recommended that 62,000 should be the minimum wage, he opted to 70. It was a tough issue. but he believes and very, very strongly in the capacity, the ability and the patriotism of the workers, whether in the public sector or in the private sector, to drive the economy of this country. So the minimum wage is inclusive. It's not exclusive at all. I believe I have answered in a small way your question. I haven't. I have, because that is what happened. Tripartite arrangement. Federal, state, local governments. That's why you have labor, TUC, NSC, and then the organized private sector. I believe that has been the tradition. Mr. President has taken it even further. From 62,000, he moved it to what? To 70,000. I thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah? You're on again? Relationship with? Oh, sorry, okay. This is a federal arrangement. In a typical federal system, you have independent tiers of government. Federal, and in our case, federal states and the local government. Just in some other federal systems, you have the federal and states, but we work cooperatively. It's not just the federal government. I think there is some misconception here. Everything federal government. If there is no food, there is federal government. Agriculture is on the concurrent list. So it's all of us working cooperatively to ensure the best for our people. And recently when the Supreme Court decided that local government must be independent in terms of authority, in terms of resources, Nigerians heard it. I became the Lord of the government executive to ensure the implementation of the decision, the Supreme Court. A panel was set up, it was approved by the government, by the Mr. President. It has done quite a lot of work to ensure compliance with the judgment of the Supreme Court. It is believed, and rightly too, that when the local government function maximally and efficiently, some of the problems we have today would have been reduced to the barest minimum. One President for this, and the Supreme Court for love of country, and our governors, we want to thank them for supporting this. I remember when I was at Owerri to represent Mr. President at the launch of the Southern Traditional Rulers Council. The chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum said that judgment was pivotal and it was going to make major changes. The economy of the local governments, by extension, but the quality of life of the people at the local level. So you see, the governors have also keyed into this. So I want to thank you for that questions, and thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Let me bring in now the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of Economy, who who has questions from the Punch, Adelami around importation, Benga Shuru around Naira flotation, fuel subsidy, Dangote refinery, and all that. And you use the opportunity to also expand and explain some of these issues for your benefit. Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Thank you and good afternoon. Honorable Ministers, fellow members of the Federal Executive Council, special advisors, the permanent secretaries here, heads of agencies, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me also join others in congratulating all of us here, and indeed all Nigerians, on this 64th anniversary celebration, and indeed 25 years of unbroken democratic rule and governance. On the issue of importation of food, I think the first thing for us to all accept is that this is not where we should be. We should not be importing food, and the strategy and the aim and objective of government is to get us out of that situation as soon as possible. The work on the remainder of the wet season harvest, providing inputs, seeds, fertilizer to small-scale farmers, particularly under the Nigerian Agricultural Growth Scheme, Agri-Pocket scheme, which has been successful, is ongoing. And similarly, there are daily meetings. There are some coordinating meetings which I chair, working on making sure that the dry season harvest that will be planted around November is one whereby we have organized it well. The inputs that are meant to be delivered are done so on time. In the meantime, there is a short-term measure to import food. Government has already ordered, procured maize and wheat, which is on its way. As regards the other importers, it is critical that we do not disrupt domestic production of food. It is critical that we do not disrupt farming in Nigeria by flooding the market with imports that now put prices where farmers are now discouraged from engaging in production, and millers are discouraged from engaging in food processing. As a result, the conversation and the consultations are on to see what quantities we can bring in without disrupting the agricultural sector, and particularly the large-scale food processor millers. They are part of it. Food insecurity is a worldwide phenomenon affecting about 35% of the world's population. What we have focused on in particular